Welcome to the Women Inspire Aspire podcast. In this episode, I talked to Brinda Miller about mural painting.
Hello, Brinda ma'am. Thanks for accepting my invite to appear in this podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for inviting me. And I've just finished dinner at home.
Okay, wonderful. Yours is a long and inspirational career in drawing and painting. Can you tell us about your childhood and your influences that led to choosing painting as your career?
So, as a child, when I was about 7 years old and in school, one of my teachers came up to me and she looked at my drawing, and it was an assignment for the whole class. And she said, "You know, you're really good in drawing." And I was a little surprised because no one in my family, even at that age, I knew that no one in my family could really draw. And I think I just went on to kind of doing a lot of drawing. I used to love drawing and painting. And finally, I think I used to do really well in school. I had some great art teachers, and that's how I became an artist, or at least I thought I would become an artist. That was a career that I chose when I was extremely young.
That's great. That's great. Great that your teacher could locate your talent at an early age and which led to all this. That's fantastic. What
Yes.
made you choose textile design in particular, and how did that shape your artistic journey?
So when I finished school, I kind of it was a given that I would take up some form of art and education in art. And though I think my father in those days, this was about 40 plus years ago, and he said, "No, you must have a degree. You mustn't take an art." In those days, there was no real degree in art. It was a diploma, but it was something that girls would do, or students would do if they really they wanted to become, eventually they would become housewives, or it wasn't much of a career, considered much of a career. But I was determined to take up something in art. And when I did finish my foundation year, I had such good grades that it was a given again that I would take up the most sought after course in Sir J.J. School of Arts, where I went. And I was extremely fortunate. I did so well. And I have no regrets, of course, when I did take up textile design. And it was one of, like I said, anybody who had high grades would go and study textile design, and that's what I did. And I think that influences my work even now. My I love textiles. I love Indian textiles especially. So it was a very interesting and very fun time for me. But yes, there was a time when after I passed out, I took up a job in textiles as a textile designer in a mill, which was called the Khatao Mills those days. And I used to it was like a 9 to 5 job. And when I went there, I felt unhappy somehow. I did not like, and not only did I not like the routine of it, I somehow just did not enjoy the job because it was very commercial and commercially oriented. And, I was told to do a certain kind of work which I wasn't enjoying at all, and I had no freedom of expression. So I decided to quit. And to kind of end this story about my career as a textile designer, I just began painting. I always did. I was always a painter at home, where I would buy my own canvases and start working and painting, and I enjoyed that too. And anything that I think any artist who is creative can take up any kind of art if they decide to. So that's when I started painting, drawing and painting.
Fantastic. And that took you to United States, I guess, after that.
That's right. Then I decided I needed to learn a little bit more about the techniques of drawing and painting. So I decided to go to New York, and I applied to the Parsons School of Design at that time, where I took up drawing and painting. And I think that was quite a milestone in my life, because that's how, though I'd already had a career, I had exhibited, I had already had a few exhibitions in Mumbai, very, very successful, an exhibition in Baroda, but somehow I felt the influence of textiles was too strong, and I needed to kind of go out in the world and discover some new forms and techniques. And my work changed at that point. I think I was totally influenced by the city. I think New York was one of the best experiences of my life. And when I came back and I had, of course, a new form, new technique, my life changed again. I kind of got married, and then I, kind of, I think I was very, very much encouraged by my partner, and he kind of really, he's a critique because he's also an architect, so he could tell me what, he felt about my work, and it was really nice because I think that's when my career also took off to another level. I was already known, but I became even more known.
Wonderful. So, how long did you stay in the United States?
So I stayed there for 2 years, and though it was not a long period in terms of a career, but I already had something from JJ. So, and also I did so well, and I kind of finished some credits very quickly that I thought in fact, that I would not come back to India ever in Mumbai, and I was really enjoying myself. But when I came back, and I started thinking about whether I really do want to come back. I think I met my husband at that time, and he said, "Well, you can always go back whenever you want." But of course, that doesn't happen. And he was extremely, broad-minded about it. He said, "Even after marriage, you can go. It's not an issue." And I thought that was very nice of him. But then I had my family, my kids. I have two daughters. They've grown up, and I've never looked back because I mean, I have no regrets. I really think life has taken its turns where it needed to take the turns where it did. And my daughters have also grown up. I sent them abroad to study because having done that myself, I felt that they should also do that. So they went, and both of them have become architects. So we are a family of three architects and one artist. My younger daughter has also become an artist actually. By day, by night, she has a job, American job. So with an architectural firm in the US. And all is well. I think it's really gone well for us. And also they felt, my daughters felt actually that they should study architecture because they said, "Mom, if we want to do we want to paint or we want to be artists, we can always do that. But to learn architecture will give us a special skill." And I think that was a great decision. I think if looking back, if I had to, again, I'm saying this without regret, if I had to go back and study, I think I would have chosen architecture. It's just that I wasn't good at science. So that's why I chose fine art. But architecture is also a very interesting subject that in fact some of my works also have a lot of architectural forms because I'm surrounded by architects, and my inspiration is drawn from the city. I love Mumbai. I love any kind of city life. I love the skyline. I know that it is growing in strange ways. It's not exactly what people think that it should be. I agree with you, but there are other things about the city that are exciting. I think it's the people are wonderful. I think it's really a lovely city in that sense. And I'm one of those city people who enjoy urban landscape. I enjoy, I enjoy the life in the city basically. I'm not one of those who likes to rest in the hills and, be looking at landscape all the time. Though I am a landscape artist to begin with. And I started with I started that way. I started by doing landscapes and trees, and I love them. I'm not saying I don't, but it was more about I think what inspires me now is the kind of, I think my own life inspires me because I lead such a busy and layered life. It's kind of made me into one of those, I do a lot of multitasking. I organize an arts festival, the Kala Ghoda Arts Festival in Mumbai, which is really has become so well known that and I enjoy it. It's a very strange thing that I do two things. One is a very stressful, hectic, exciting thing called the Kala Ghoda Arts Festival, and the other part is a very kind of introspective and meditative profession which I have, which is drawing and painting.
Right.
So,
We are going to talk about Kala Ghoda later. Um,
yeah.
Tell us about your solo exhibitions. How did they progress from your first exhibition in 1982 to your most recent one?
So my first exhibition was really an experiment to see how well I would do, and of course, it did extremely well. And the first show was in Baroda, and the reason why, even though I lived in Bombay, was because somebody had an art gallery who I knew was related to me, and then she suggested, "Why don't you have a show there?" And I'm really grateful to her because uh, I thought that it would be good to try it out, and of course I did extremely well. Looking back, those were the days where you sold paintings at 2,000 rupees and 1,000 rupees, and you thought you had done a wonderful, great job, which I think, which is fine. And this was about 40 years ago, 40 plus years ago. So, that's how I look at it now. But it was very, very encouraging because, like I said, I sold out. I didn't have anything left. Then I did one in Bombay after that. And again, all the paintings were sold. And I myself couldn't believe it. So obviously, it did wonders for my confidence. And
Wow.
that's the reason why obviously people appreciated what I was doing. And they still do. Even now, people love my work, or I mean, I'm sure there are people who don't like it also. But generally, doing quite well for myself. So I feel blessed, and I'm very, very fortunate to have this talent.
So, from a style and approach perspective, how have you evolved over all these years?
So, style, my style is very distinctive. A lot of people recognize it. They tell me, I recognized your work. I saw your work somewhere. Then I went closer and I saw that your signature was on it. And it makes me feel good because reason being, actually, I do many different things. And I do, even paintings have gone from figurative to landscape to all kinds of work, and it is abstract, but at the same time I feel my work is recognized for the kind of work it is, the style of it. And I use a lot of texture because I have that textile influence. I'm kind of I kind of print on my canvas. I use techniques like batik or similar to batik, or I use resist techniques. I layer my work, so it has a lot of influences of textile. At the same time, it is I kind of try to do make it like a fine art, and I think I paint actually mostly for myself. It's very, very intuitive, it's very, very impulsive, and it's not the kind of painting where I plan it too much. And I think that works for me the best. And I'm a dreamer. I'm also one of those who extremely prolific in whatever I do. I can do like several things in one go. And one of the things that I do is I work on many canvases together. So it kind of makes it less boring for me and more interesting. Whatever I do, I think I do it just to keep myself, satisfied, happy. At the same time, I am. I have different kind of ambition. I think from most people that I kind of like to. Uh, I want to think that I'm really never satisfied with anything. So, and I think all artists should be like that. They should never be satisfied with what they do and what they have, because that's the only way to improve. And I'm still learning. I keep saying I'm still learning, not just in technique, but more my thoughts are evolving very, very differently. And I think with each solo exhibition that I've had, I've kind of changed my work. I've At the same time, I feel I have evolved, and here I am now, and I'm really happy with what I'm doing.
Great, wonderful. And were there any standout moments or artworks that marked a turning point in your career? Do you remember?
There are a lot of standout works. I have done a few murals, which are very different from what I do otherwise around the city. And one of those, I mean, actually, because I did those murals, I felt Mumbai. I think I'm one of the first people to kind of introduce murals to the city. I would like to think that, and people were a little surprised when they see that I think a lot of it is because also of the festival, because my father was also involved with public, art in public spaces. He was also very keen patron of the arts. So maybe that little artistic thing bent has come from there, and I think one of the most important works at some point seemed to me that were the murals that I did. So, yes, I think also, I think the other important things is that I have kind of something recently that has happened, I can immediately tell you is that, work has been acquired by a museum in Belgium. So that makes you feel very important and very like it's the work of a serious buyer and artist. It's a
Of course.
combination of that. And at the moment also right now my work is at the National Gallery of Modern Art in Mumbai, so I feel very good about that. It's a very prestigious thing for me.
Yeah, of course. Um, so let's talk about public art in Mumbai, and let's talk about your role in public art.
So like I told you, I think I'm one of the pioneers of that, and it was lucky that many years ago I had some a sponsor do that. So I have done work at the Prince Ali Khan Museum. Not museum, sorry, hospital. I have displayed. I have painted a work, and it's put up there. Then after that, I did a mural in Kala Ghoda. Then I
Hmm.
did the wall at the Lion Gate. I painted the entire wall, and so
Oh,
also the other thing is Kala Ghoda Arts Festival is the only place where artists are invited by me. Actually, I'm the one who invited people to come and display their work. And so we have like 100 installations on the street over 9 days.
hmm.
And it is something, again, it's a cause after my heart to be able to display this art. And I think everyone can come and see it. It's open to all, so that people are not inhibited to enter a gallery or any of that, and they are welcome to come and interact with the artwork. And a lot of people nowadays, because they are youngsters, they take selfies, and it's become a big deal. And people tell me, why do you, I mean, it's just a place where people want to take selfies, but I think selfies are a great memory to take back home. And that,
Right.
even for if you have an work of art in the background, it's like you visited a museum. It's that feeling. So I think the kids really enjoy it, and young people get some exposure to art which they don't get otherwise. Where do you see art? You don't see it otherwise anywhere in public spaces.
Correct. I have attended a couple of art displays here in Bangalore, and I make sure that I take photographs and also selfies in order to show people that
Uh-huh.
I visited, and it's a good exposure. And to also put in the social media, it creates awareness about the art, which is great.
Yes,
Um,
social media has made that happen.
yeah, that's really wonderful. We have the technology in the hands of individuals, which is great.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
the Let's talk about the efforts involved in restoring the heritage buildings and spaces in Mumbai, and your contributions.
So again, a lot of people do not know that the money we collect from the festival, from the sponsorship, some part of it we put aside for the restoration of the Kala Ghoda Arts District, which is a heritage district as well, because there are a lot of old British buildings which are very beautiful, and a lot of it was taken for granted. This is the 25th year actually of the Kala Ghoda Association, and I've been there for almost all those 25 years. And over the years, we've seen such a change because it was a dark and no, people took it for granted. They didn't really look at the area at all. There was not even a statue of the Kala Ghoda there because it had been removed by people who felt that it was a British statue. It was King
Mm,
Edward the Seventh. So that's lying in the zoo. And then few years ago, there was a gentleman from the BMC, the Municipal Corporation, which said, who told me and my husband that why don't you all put a statue there of a horse? Because people want to know where is Kala Ghoda. If you tell a taxi driver Kala Ghoda le jao, they'll take you. But nobody really knows why it is called Kala Ghoda. So we put this statue there. We got a modern statue. It's similar to the old one, but it's just the horse. It's not a rider. There's no rider on it. And now people think that is the statue, why this area is called Kala Ghoda. But at least the good part is that um, a lot of people come there, they look at the buildings, and we did a lot of work on a lot of, we also had a lot of help from, say, somebody like JSW and some of these companies corporates who put in their money and they restored the synagogue, which is also in the area. And the David Sassoon Library was one of our latest kind of, restoration projects, which happened last year. And it's a beautiful building. It's a beautifully restored building. And we also give a lot of support to the museum, which is in the area. And there are several other buildings like that, Elphinstone College. And, we've kind of won a couple of UNESCO Merit Awards because we've restored Mulji Jetha Fountain. We've restored, these are all very, very old buildings. So it's really beautiful space. Also, a lot of stores have opened there, a lot of restaurants have opened there, and it's suddenly become so lively. And it's like a cultural tourist destination.
Fantastic.
So I'm very proud that this has happened. And, my creativity has not just been my own art, but it's also been, a sort of creative management of Kala Ghoda Arts District.
Great. Let's talk about your roles in mentoring NGOs and serving the prestigious juries and advisory boards. Can you tell us more about it?
So I think I'm one of those people. I think I'm very, very approachable. So a lot of NGOs who, anyway, I think art is one of those things where NGOs do like to approach artists and ask for work and artists' paintings. They also sell them, and then they give, part of the proceeds go for such things. That's how it all started. But I also do mentor a lot of people. I do kind of help people who want to know about career in art, and a lot of people call on me for that reason. Similarly, I've been to a lot of schools, municipal schools, NGOs. I'm also involved with something called the Artist Center, of which I'm the honorary chairperson. It's more for artists who are making a career, new artists, and I think it's our duty as professional artists to kind of help out upcoming artists, younger artists. And I go to a lot of these shows. I also, advise at the museum. I'm also part of their education advisory, as well as the children's museum. I'm on their board. So it's something that I think people know that I'm one of those people who will help them and do something for them. I uh, I do many things like this, and I even kind of visit art shows of younger artists. I kind of tell them, I give them a little critique, I help them out. So yes, I'm also one of those who knows how to advise them on their careers in terms of just also their college, because I tell them what they should do, not do. And I've kind of, mentored a lot of young students also in the art world.
Fantastic. After achieving so much and getting awards like Women Achievers Award and Bharat Nirmal Award, what makes you maintain your drive and passion in your work?
So actually doesn't take much to maintain my drive and passion. I think I've reached that stage in life where I think it just comes. But yes, in my earlier younger days, I was extremely ambitious. Now I'm not, in the sense that now I feel I've achieve what I want to achieve. It's not about fame or fortune or any of those things anymore. It was not so much about making a lot of money. It was never about that, but definitely it was about uh, I wanted to be known, because I think I've inherited those genes from my father also, who also had similar goals in life. He was also known in Mumbai, also as a public figure in Mumbai, because he used to encourage a lot of. He was sheriff of Mumbai actually for two
Oh,
terms. So he used to have these drives where he'd go in green Mumbai. He would kind of plant trees everywhere, and he had a lot of interest in the city. Similarly, I also have the same drive that I want to kind of be I just love Mumbai, and I just don't want to. I would never want to leave it anymore. There was a time where, yes, I felt I could go settle elsewhere, but now I feel, I just love it. I just love it here. And we have this beautiful coastline, and we have yes, there are problems in Mumbai, but like I told you earlier, I think it's the people of Mumbai who really make it happen. And even now, when I go out, and I find I know so many people, even if I'm just walking on the street sometimes at Kala Ghoda, there's so many people who come up to me and just talk to me without really knowing me. And I think that's what keeps me going. People come at the festival and say, "Thank you for doing the Kala Ghoda festival." I work honorarily for this Kala Ghoda festival. I don't take a fee for it. I just do it because I love the city. So that is my drive, and that is what I really enjoy. And I think I've reached that stage in life where I feel that kind of satisfaction.
right, great. What is your vision for the future of art in public spaces and nurturing murals and paintings?
So, unfortunately, I think a lot of art in public spaces now has become a little, it's gone a bit off, because the government at some point decided to do a lot of paintings everywhere and beautify the city. But some of them are really not nice. And I think that kind of respect has gone. But yes, on the other hand, there are some really nice things that are happening. There is the Start Festival that happens in January, where the Sassoon Dock is painted by a very good artists, and there's a lot of good artwork everywhere. And of course, there is the Kala Ghoda Arts Festival. Similarly, there are some very, very talented artists in Mumbai, at least, and of course in India. And I remember many, many years ago, I went to the government and said, let me paint the underbellies of all the flyovers in the city. And they just looked at me and they laughed and they said, about why would you do that? But now I see that these things are also happening. Of course, some of it is not so nice, some of it is very nice. And but it's a good start, I feel, and we can easily you know kind of fine tune what we are doing and make it better.
And what are your plans for carrying forward your legacy in the Indian and as well as the international art scene?
So for me, legacy is not about the kind of art that I do exactly, but it's also the legacy of encouraging artists to do the kind of art that they do and do it well. Of course, I think we stand nowhere in the international art world, and that's a big pity. I see, countries like China and all doing so well. Yeah, it is better than before, no doubt. But I think the only artist that people remember as such is Hussein, or a few names like that. But yes, I think we are on the way to doing something much more. And it's not just about going international. I think what is really doing well internationally are the crafts that we have. And I think that also is a sort of art only. I think we have beautiful artisans, we have beautiful crafts, we have beautiful handicrafts, we have beautiful textiles, as I said. So even if that does well, I am happy. To me, I feel even if you plant a tree, like I said, that's something that I also like to do, is if you plant a tree, even that is art. I think art is something that, one has to, and then there's so much, we take so much for granted. I think a little chai shop looks like a lovely installation, or you see, a bulla cart somewhere. You don't see these things anywhere in the world. So I think we are very unique in what we produce as artists. And I think the kind of culture that India has is very, very unique and very, very extremely interesting. I also think that there are the countries who are also very good at what they do and the kind of culture they have. But ours is a little mixed bag. Of course, there are lots of things that are not going the right way too, in terms of we are very, very out to ape the West, which I don't think we should do so much of. We try to, build also architecture. All these things are not very good. I feel we could do better in those departments. But having said that, I'm not saying that we are not making progress. We definitely are.
Okay. What are your advices to young artists trying to make their mark in public art or other
So young
artistic?
artists take too much of the internet. They are not exposed, I feel, to art, to the outside, to going. They should travel. They should look around. They should visit museums. That's something else that we do not have enough of in India. We don't have any really too many museums where there are paintings. Yeah, there are some artifacts and things like that, but paintings. Also, I think art is something that you need to practice. A lot of artists these days, they just want to straight away get into abstract art. I don't think you can do that. You have to know the techniques of drawing. You have to know how to draw. Also, I think, uh, but on the other hand, yes, there are many, many new experimental tools like the computer has, which I think they're very, very lucky to have, because, they're new mediums, something that my generation not able to do too much of. And the young minds have a different way of looking at it, a different way of working. But again, like I said, it's a different exposure. You have to expose yourself to many, many different things in life. You have to go out, you have to taste good food, you have to meet people, you have to travel, you have to see the world. And as much as you can, you can even go in your own country. You should do all those things to be able to be inspired to do the right kind of art. On the other hand, I think there are a lot of shortcuts now available, which is again, I'm not sure if that is the right way to do it. But I think if you dare to dream and if you dare to aspire, you can do anything. And that's the advice I give artists. Uh, Expose yourself, go and learn new things, try new things all the time.
Great, wonderful. So it has been a great honor to talk to you for our podcast, and thank you very, very much for accepting my invite and spending time with us in the podcast. And
Thank you so much.
wishing you all the very best for all your endeavors relating to art. And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed speaking to you. Thank you.
Please take care. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
That was a great podcast with Brinda Miller. Please subscribe to this channel and follow it for more awesome podcasts. Opinions expressed by the guests in this podcast are their own. The host or the sponsors of the podcast do not condone the opinions expressed by the guests or the actions arising out of those opinions. Any decisions or actions that the listeners might take as a result of listening to this podcast must be based on their own judgment and will be at their own risk. The podcast host or their sponsors will not be held responsible for the consequences of any actions and or decisions taken as a result of any content in this podcast.